Hi, I'm Diane from Age Defying Workouts, and we're back in the kitchen again this morning. In part 2 of our spring cleanse, we talked about eating to make your body feel energetic and lighter for spring or any time of the year. So what we're going to do today is go through a whole day's worth of meals without carbs. We know that if we eat a lot of grain carbs, that we can upset the insulin response in our body, and sometimes we just need to go away from them for a little while. I prefer to stay away from grain carbs for the most part, but for some people, just even a couple of weeks, changing the diet to go away from grain carbs will reset the insulin response and get your body feeling a lot better. Once you go back to eating carbs, it's always a good idea to get the majority of your carbs from the kinds of foods we're eating today. If you're going to choose grains, make sure that they're whole grains with lots of nuts and seeds and fiber in them. So we're going to start with breakfast. Instead of having that cereal and bagel breakfast or no breakfast, which a lot of people do, I would suggest that you go right away from that at breakfast time. It's probably going to be the hardest meal of the day to get rid of carbs because we're so used to grabbing cereal and toast on the go. But what I would suggest that you do is a couple of things. You can make up a protein shake, and you'll find those. Grant did one in his blog. We've done shakes before in our blog. Have a nice protein shake for breakfast. If you've got a little bit more time, then what you can do is you can replace the carbs in your breakfast with vegetable carbs by doing a couple of eggs scrambled in a non-stick pan, or if you have time, make an omelet. Throw a serving of spinach in with your eggs as you're cooking them. Add a few cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes, and you've got a couple of really good servings of carbs that are going to give you lots of fiber and are going to give you energy throughout the day, as well as the protein from your egg, which is going to keep you from getting hungry too soon. A good breakfast is essential, but I would suggest that getting away from grain carbs for a while is a really good idea with those two options. So that's breakfast. Because we always recommend that we eat every 3 to 4 hours, you need a mid-morning snack. Your snack doesn't have to be big, but it does have to be there so that you keep your blood sugars level. To get away from that crackers and cheese snack in the morning or half a bagel with cream cheese, I have a couple of options for you. The first one is a take on the old ants on a log that we used to do when our kids were little. This time, I've taken celery sticks, and instead of using peanut butter, I've used almond butter. You could use any nut butter that you would like, but I prefer almond butter. I think it's really a good idea that you switch up your butters that you're using. Variety in food is always important, and almond butter is a little bit sweeter. It kind of gives you that feeling of having a treat mid-morning. So instead of using grains in crackers or bagels, you're going to use celery. You're going to use the vegetable group, nice and low glycemic, keeping your blood sugars level. I'm going to add some protein with the almond butter. That's a mid-morning snack. If you want something that's even more prepared than that, there are a couple of options. Hummus is always a good idea. If you don't like the garlic in hummus, say you're going to work and you can't have garlic on your breath, I make up a white bean dip. Really easy. You drain a can of white beans, throw them in your blender with a little bit of olive oil, some lemon juice. I put mint in this one for a nice spring touch. And then all I do is I take a serving size, and here I have cucumbers and red peppers. Again, getting the carbohydrates from the vegetable group, low glycemic, keeping your insulin response where it should be, adding some protein with the white bean or the hummus dip. One of the dilemmas in my house is that I'm the only one that likes these kinds of things. Hummus especially, it's just for me, it's nobody else. And so I have a lot of clients who will say, what do I do with the extra hummus? It always goes bad before I can use it. What I do is I take it and I put it into serving size blobs, I freeze it in the freezer, and then when I want to eat it, I pop it out about 20 minutes ahead of time. It's usually thawed by that time. If you're taking it to lunch, it definitely would be. You can also just throw it in the microwave to thaw it out for about 20 seconds. A great snack. It's going to give you lots of energy in the morning. Once you get to lunch, we always have this proverbial problem of lunch is a sandwich because it's really easy to do. So what I'd like to show you today is a way to deconstruct that sandwich so that you're eating it low carb. We still need carbs in our diet because they give us really good energy, and I don't want you feeling lethargic as you're going through this. So what I'm going to do for you today is deconstruct a tuna salad sandwich. You might have tuna, you might have salmon, you might have egg salad, you might have chicken or ham or roast beef on your sandwich. Any of those protein products would work for this. So instead of taking 2 slices of bread, throwing a little lettuce on maybe, and having your tuna salad, what I would do is I would take a serving of mixed greens that are already washed in my fridge. I drizzle it with a little bit of vinaigrette dressing that I make up in quantity and have in the fridge. And then, instead of putting it between bread, I just take a serving size amount of tuna salad and I put it on top of my salad greens. To get more carbs in my meal, then what I'm going to do is have some cooked broccoli. I cook extra the night before. Always cooking in bulk really helps. And I'm just going to take that broccoli, heat it up in the microwave. Cold is also good. You could add some of the vinaigrette to that if you need to, if you're taking it to work. And there, I've got a great energy-producing lunch that's going to satisfy my sugar cravings with no bread. Very simple. If you catch a sandwich at a restaurant, say you order your lunch and you don't take it, restaurants are very happy to deconstruct sandwiches and do them this way for you. Don't be afraid to ask. So now we've gotten you through to lunch. Afternoon snack is probably the most important one. There's probably the longest span between lunch and dinner, and you're going to need to have something in there that's going to keep you feeling full so you're not sugar craving while you go home to have dinner. The easiest way to do that, especially if you're on the run, is to have a small apple, get good carbs from apples and also great fiber, and then just to add some protein, take some almonds, some whole almonds with the skin on, and add it to your apple. If the almonds are big, I would only use 6. These ones are fairly small, so I've probably got a dozen here. So with a little bit of water to go along with it, a small apple and some almonds will get you through until dinner time. Once you get to dinner, I find dinner the easiest one to do that isn't carb-based. Now, if you're a pasta eater and you eat pasta 3 or 4 times a week, you may have to rethink a little bit. But a really simple dinner, and we want dinners to be simple because it's the end of the day, we've been working all day, we're tired and we just want to get it done. The easiest thing to do is to take some kind of protein. Because we had fish for lunch, I'm going to suggest that you take a chicken breast and you grill it on the grill or you skewer it and barbecue it. Very, very simple, just a nice chicken breast. Then what I would do is I would take sweet potatoes, really great source of low glycemic carbs, going to give you lots of energy, plus there's lots of antioxidants in these. If you're in a hurry, then you can just poke holes all over them, throw them in the microwave, and they're ready in about 5 minutes. Scoop out the flesh and you're ready to go. If you're not in a hurry, you can always take them and you can chop them up, add a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and roast them in the oven, but they take about 40 minutes to do. So either way, whatever's the quickest. So you have your grilled chicken. You have a really good source of vegetable carbs in the sweet potatoes that will replace white potatoes, very high glycemic. They act like bread in your diet. It will replace rice for you right now or pasta. And then what I would do is I would add another vegetable. And in this case, I've chosen sugar snap peas. I like them raw, but you can simply de-string them and steam them a little bit on top of the stove or in the microwave. And you've got a really, really quick and easy dinner with grilled chicken, scooped out sweet potatoes, and the sugar snap peas. Now that's one whole day of non-carb from grains eating. You're going to feel really energetic. If you've been feeling bloated or gassy after you've been eating your grain carbs, you're not going to feel that. If you do that for a few days, you might get hooked on this. I find that I feel so much better when I eat this way. These are just examples, but there are tons of other ideas that we have on our website for ways to get your good food in, but without having lots of grains from breads, pastas, rice, muffins, bagels. I would leave those alone, and I think you'll find you're going to have lots more energy and you're going to feel very well. That's it from AgeDefyingWorkouts.com. Visit us at our website for lots more great ideas for eating.